Giovanni, welcome back to the show. How you doing, buddy?
Good afternoon, Mr. Yorba. I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I think I'm gonna make it, but
Fantastic.
vacations are coming. So anyway, go ahead. Hacking local listings, right?
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of bring this up because, we've talked the last couple of, I guess the previous couple of weeks about the voice search, and I want to make sure that, number one, folks don't need to be panicking about what's happening with voice search. And the main reason why is when you hear people talking about that, about people using these in-home devices, the smart speakers, and then searching on your automobile and searching on your phones through your voice. We have this issue that we call kind of search result zero, which means that if someone does a search for something related to your business or the services or products you provide, if you don't literally rank number one, forget about being on the homepage of search. If you don't rank number one and someone's doing this search on a device through an audible means, then you don't exist, right? So forget about trying to rank in the top 10 out of millions results. Now we have to worry about ranking number one. Well, I just want to make sure that everyone's not panicking and thinking that the end is nigh and that this is something that we have to deal with right now. This is something that's we're really not going to see flesh out probably for the next, maybe 12, 18 months to kind of see whether that's going to be a crisis or not. I think the people that are really, really in tune with their marketing and have a mature marketing program should be worried about it now to the extent that they need to be planning. I want to step back a little bit, though, and talk about local search, which is something that is relevant to everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Today what I want to do is give folks a few tips on what you can do to rank well in the local search listings. And what I mean by that is when you go to Google, when you go to Yahoo, when you search on your phone, whatever, and you type in a search for a financial advisor, you, number one, have the search listings that show up right in front of you. But then on the right-hand side, sometimes you'll have a business name with the photo of the front of the business, a map, and all the detailed information. Those are local search listings, right? And there are some people that are savvy about how that works and who own that space, and some folks who are just kind of are floating along and letting it happen to them. Well, I want to give folks on the radio a few tips that will help them dramatically, that don't take a whole lot of effort and very little money to help with that. So number one, the thing I want folks to do is I want folks to go in their desktop computer and search for a phrase that describes what their business does. So let's take financial advisors for an example. Typically what you will find is you will find a listing there, or maybe several listings of companies whose name does not include the word or phrase financial advisors in them. And let's assume that one of the company's name is like Barking Dog and Associates. They thought that'd be cute to name their company that, but they're financial advisors. Well, they discovered they couldn't rank very well based upon their company name because barking dogs have nothing to do with financial advising, right? So what they do is in their search listings, they will go up and actually list the name of their company as Barking Dog and Associates, comma, financial advisors in Dallas. And because the local search right now, the algorithm is so rudimentary, they will get credit for the phrase financial services in Dallas because they stick it in a title. Well, what do you do about that, right? What you can do is Google and all of these search engines have the ability to have you go into these listings, and what they have a link there that says suggest and edit. And I'm doing air quotes because no one can see me. You can go in there and correct that business name so that it just says Barking Dog and Associates. And what that does is that knocks them down a peg. It prevents them from cheating the system, essentially, so that now everybody is competing against their real names and based upon the real authority they have on the Internet. So that's number one. And what you will typically see is within about 2 weeks when you correct the names of your competitors, and be very clear, I'm not talking about going and putting a name in there that is not the name of the competitor because Google will verify that, right? What I'm talking about is making sure that the name is accurate. You will see that after a couple of weeks, that competitor will then kind of fall off the top of that search listing, which makes room for someone else to go up to the top. And that might be you. It might be somebody else. But having a level playing field and having the rules be fair for everyone is great for everyone. So that's number one. Go in and check and make sure that your competitors aren't cheating the system by stuffing keywords inside the name of their companies, because that has a big impact on those listings. The number two thing that I want to talk about is citations. Citations are basically a listing in the yellow pages for the old folks, and I guess a listing on Yelp for the young folks. Citations are super critical for Google to understand who you are and what you do in the Internet. The one biggest thing that will kill you in the citation game is having multiple companies or multiple websites list your company with different information on them, and that could be different phone numbers. Maybe you have multiple locations, and each location has its own individual phone number. Get yourself a 1-800 number and make sure that every listing across every single search engine uses the same number. Make sure your addresses are consistent. That will kill you if you've got a street name, comma, suite number 105, and then another listing says a street name, and then the next line has the suite number on it, and then another listing has street name, comma, STE, period, the suite number on it. Those inconsistencies seem to not be important to us because as humans, we can look at that and we immediately know it's all the same thing. Computers don't know that. And they try to figure it out, but anytime you make a computer think, air quotes again, think about something and try to figure something out, you lose in the search game. So how can you humanly go and do this and look at all the different listings and where your address is for your business? You need to spend a tiny bit of money, like $100, and go to a company like Moz, M-O-Z. They have a service called Moz Local that will find all these listings for you. You can use a service like Bright Local. They're fantastic. There's a company called White Spark. I don't have any relationships with any of those companies, but they're all fantastic folks that I've used all three of those services. They all work almost identically. They all cost about the same, but what they do is they save you a ton of work. They find every reference to your business on the Internet for you, and they stick it in an administrative interface for you to then go through there and say, these all things need to change, and then they have a service in the background that submits all those changes in bulk for you to clean all that stuff up. So if you clean up the names of your competitors online, and if you clean up your data online that refers back to your business, because not a whole lot of people pay attention to local search, you will see huge benefits in your search rankings. And because our intent these days is more driven by local personalized search than it is by generic, not personalized search, you will be, and I hate using the word because I tell people not to listen to people that say guaranteed, but I will say this, there is no way that you will not see a benefit from doing those two things for your business online.
All right, Giovanni, we've got to go, but great content. Thank you so much for those lessons of wisdom.
Have an awesome day, man.
You too. Giovanni Gallucci, Gallucci.net is where you can find this gentleman. We're going to take a break, come back with Mark Timming, Chairman, CEO, Conservico, LLC, and we'll be talking about how to raise money through crowdfunding and the media. We'll be right back.